What's good, guys? Welcome to the premiere episode of the Anglo-Welsh Sporting Podcast with your host, Mike of Ivor Reacts and Fisher of I'm Fisher. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well, mate. How are you? How are you?
I'm excited, but I'm excited. It's a brand new
Very.
season.
Oh yeah, he's using for everything.
Oh yes, and we got some brilliant sporting events to cover over this season, over the next year, and hopefully beyond that.
Oh yeah,
Now, for all you guys who might be wondering, what sports we're going to cover? Well, we're going to cover football. Primarily, we're going to cover the Premiership of the English League and the Championship.
yeah. And then obviously any other events that go on, FA Cup, Europa League, things like that. We'll cover them as and when they happen. But for the most part, yeah, just
Yeah, we're going to cover the Euro qualifiers as well. Hopefully, Wales can
yeah.
qualify because I will be really annoyed if we don't. We're also going to be covering the rugby as well. So we got the Gallagher Premiership of the English League, the Pro 14, which features teams from Ireland, Wales, Scotland, Italy, and South Africa. We've also going to be covering the Welsh Premiership and Championship as well, and the cup competitions between these nations and everything. So we got some good club competitions to cover, as well as international games, Six Nations next year. Obviously, the Rugby World Cup. So we're gearing up for that as well, and it's going to be very enjoyable.
Indeed it is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, you're kind of like the rugby guy. I'm obviously a little bit more of the football guy. So we've got a nice variety of things to cover. And then we're also going to be covering a few other sports here and there too. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the boxing. If anyone's confused, it's the Logan Paul KSI boxing fight. We're going to have a little talk about that and UFC because if you don't already know, Conor McGregor is making his comeback to fight Khabib. So that'll be interesting.
And we've also got Brock Lesnar coming back to take on DJ, the current reigning UFC heavyweight champion, which will be interesting as well to see.
Yes, it will be. Yeah, we'll see how he makes his comeback.
And also, we're going to be covering the F1 as well. Mainly, I'll be covering F1 because I am a big F1 fan. I've watched it for pretty much most of my life. '98 was the very first race I actually saw of F1. So I've been watching for a good long time. So we're gonna cover that. But in this episode, basically what we're doing, we're just gonna have some pre-season predictions.
Yeah.
So the Premiership, who do we think's gonna win that? Fish?
So I've said that it's kind of difficult to go against Man City, just based on their previous, performance last year. But at heart, I'd love Everton to win it. Everton
Yeah.
fan, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. Um, Realistically, I just can't see anybody else winning it other than City. Maybe United, but I'm going to say City.
Yeah, with me also, I do think the Man City have probably got it very dominant last season. But if any team can actually step up, I think it'll be Manchester United this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you're always going to have Chelsea and Arsenal, battling for that top four. Maybe even Liverpool. They can definitely put up a fight for top four, but uh, it's tough. I haven't watched any of the friendly games, any of the preseason games, so I can't really tell you their form. But based on last season and the players that they've got, it's hard to bet against City and United, really.
Yeah, and just like Fisher being an Everton fan and wanting Everton to win, me, I grew up as a Manchester United fan, so it'd be nice for United to win. But the fact that Cardiff City's in the Premiership now, and me being Welsh, I got hopes for Cardiff, even though I do think they're gonna be in the relegation battle.
You never know. I mean, crazy things have happened in the Premier League. Why it's one of the most popular leagues.
Well, to be honest,
But
you never know. Cardiff could do a Leicester City.
exactly, that's what I mean, man. No one expected Leicester to win the league ever. They come out of nowhere and just destroy everybody. Could happen again. Any team can do that. Any team plays their best. And, it helped that there was a lot of teams that didn't play their best. But I mean, props to Leicester when they win the league. But anybody can do it.
Yep,
It's a
and
lot harder now.
looking at the championship as well, teams I think will be in a fight for promotion. I mean, Swansea City, as much as I don't want them to get promoted because it's Swansea, I do think Swansea will be back up in the Premiership next season. I don't think they're gonna win the championship though. To be honest with you,
Because they've already played a few games, right? Their season's already started.
yeah, I should point out we're recording this podcast on Friday, the 10th of August. So none of the Premiership games have been played yet, but neither of us knew that the season in football would be starting this early. We thought we had a week or two to prepare for this podcast, so it started a little bit sooner than anticipated. And right now, the team leading the championship is Middlesbrough with 2 games played, 1 win and 1 draw.
Yeah, they do have a game in hand over pretty much everybody. Um, it looks like there's only a couple of teams that have played 2 matches. Everyone else only played one. So I mean that's all going to change. Middlesbrough though, with 1 win, 1 draw, can't complain with that. However, I think this is going to be different when everyone plays their kind of next match. I reckon Villa will go top after tomorrow.
Well, Villa, what was it? Actually, no, Brentford. Brentford were the big shocks in the first game and
Well,
a half, 5-1, wasn't it?
yeah, but Brentford plays Stoke tomorrow. So can I see them beating Stoke?
I mean,
No.
the Stoke lost their first game.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, yeah. I mean, like we say, it can happen. Mate. It really can happen.
Right, to be honest with you, but when it comes to teams I think will get automatic promotion from the Championship back to the Premiership, I think Villa definitely will be in that fight. I also think that Wigan Athletic might be in that fight as well.
Yeah, Wigan could definitely be up there. I think. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, Stoke have got a team to get up there.
Bolton.
Um, yeah, Bolton. I mean, Norwich. They could definitely make it up, but tough one.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like
looking at Birmingham and Blackburn as well, they could be dark horses in the playoffs and everything. At the end of the
oh,
season.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell right now, just because obviously 1 or 2 games played is incredibly difficult to judge. But going from you know realistic teams and things like that, I think the ones who mentioned are most likely to go up. I can't see anybody else really making a huge upset. I mean, maybe Leeds. We were saying this yesterday.
Yeah, they won their first game. Now they got off the start
Yeah,
lovely. So maybe Leeds could get up there.
yeah, you never know. You never know.
So preseason predictions. We're going for Aston Villa to win the championship. and Manchester City to win the Premiership.
Yeah.
Now we move on to boxing because we got the
Okay.
KSI Logan Paul fight coming up soon, and we're gonna give you our predictions on this as well. Literally,
Uh,
both of us have got the exact same prediction, I think.
yes. I mean, we both kind of said that we want. Well, we think KSI will beat Logan, and then we think, unfortunately, Jake will beat Deji.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, don't get us wrong. We want Deji to beat Jake Paul, but
Oh yeah,
it just
definitely.
it doesn't seem like he's taking the sport seriously. You know.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough because he dropped his train on his own, and then it's just it doesn't make a whole lot of sense considering Jake is, from what I've seen from videos on the old YouTubes, you know, Jake's taking it very seriously. He's got a very good trainer. He's training a lot. So hopefully, I mean, hopefully Deji's doing that behind the scenes. Never know.
Aye, we hope so. And we got a couple of undercard fights, and literally I don't know anything about these undercard fights, but Fisher does know a little bit about a few of them. So he can give you a good prediction on the undercard fights, and I couldn't give you a prediction.
Yeah, so on the undercard, I'm trying to think who we got on there now. I was trying to find the undercard earlier, but I can't. I can't seem to find the undercard. Uh, who was on there? Oh, and Nissan Gabe is fighting. I can't remember who. However, it doesn't matter who he's fighting. Nissan Gabe is probably going to win that. We've got Face Sensei is fighting somebody, and again, I don't really think it makes a huge difference who Face Sensei fights. I think he's going to win that no matter what. I mean, he's like fourth dan or belt, whatever in martial arts. He's a UFC MMA fighter. The guy is incredibly powerful, so he should win that. Um, oh, and Nissan Gibbs fighting Jay from TGF, which um, I know you've never really watched TGF before. I used to watch them, not so much anymore, so I haven't actually seen any of his preparation. But I know Nissan Gibb has been boxing for a few years, so it's
Yeah.
it'll be interesting, man. There's a lot of fights on that undercard, though. I can't remember exactly how many, but there's nowhere that says directly like, you know, here's the undercard, unless you kind of watch KSI's video, which I'm obviously not going to do right now to find out who it is. But the undercard fight should be pretty good. They should be better than the Joe Weller fight anyway, because them undercard fights were, and no offense to the people that were fighting, but they were bad. They were really bad. There was not really a fair fight in there. I think the fairest fight was twin scene, two twin brothers fighting each other, but it wasn't exactly a proper fight. It looked like they were pretty scared of hitting each other, and
Yeah, their mother was in
that
the
was kind of
audience.
whatever.
That's why. But their mother was in the audience.
Yeah,
Don't hit
right.
your
They knew they
brother.
were
Don't hit your
both
brother.
getting grounded. So I think the undercard fight is going to be a lot closer this year than last year, and obviously the main event should be a lot closer to the obviously KSI versus Logan. I can't see Logan Paul getting shut out like Joe did, boy. You never know.
Either way, we're gonna get some banter on commentary from True Geordie anyway,
Absolutely.
so
Oh,
you can't go
absolutely.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got commentary from True Geordie, Joe Weller, and I can't remember who True Geordie does it with. Is it Lance? Is it? Is that his name?
I have absolutely no idea. I can't remember who we done it with
Yeah, I can't.
the last fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's the guy that runs the podcast with him and stuff like that. I can't remember his name for some reason off the top of my head right now. But yeah, it's the same people as last time plus Joe Weller, and then obviously you've got Big Michael Buffer.
Yep, good
Which,
old Michael Buffer. You can't go
oh
wrong.
yeah, oh absolutely not. How they managed to do that, I'll never know. But I
And
think
to
props
be
to them.
honest, I got a prediction right now, right? When Jake Paul beats Deji, Michael Buffer knocks him out.
Stand up in the ring, go boom. I mean
Why,
that'd
why,
be
why not? Why
crazy.
not?
That. True, true. I mean, mate, if I was in the ring, I'd probably have to hold off on a few punches.
Right,
So
and
then we've got
Conor McGregor coming back to UFC as well. Brock Lesnar coming back. We gotta talk about this a little bit.
yeah, I think so. So we've got Conor McGregor obviously coming back from his not really suspension, but obviously he took a little break because obviously he's going through court and things like that. And anybody who doesn't really know the kind of backstory on this, basically to cut a long story short, Conor McGregor threw a dolly, which if you don't know what a dolly is, it has wheels on the bottom. It helps you carry like boxes of heavy things. He basically picked it up, threw it at a professional bus, a professional coach, I guess it is. Smashed all the windows, and it ended up cutting a few of the fighters on the bus. And one of them fighters was Khabib.
Hmm.
Basically, now a whole load of drama went down between them. Conor was obviously in court for obviously multiple different things. Uh, I can't remember what he actually ended up getting charged with or whatever it was, but I know he's not doing prison time, so that's great. So yeah, he's coming back to then obviously fight Khabib. Now people are saying that this is going to be Conor's most difficult fight, and I'm going to have to agree. I mean, Khabib is 26 and 0, never lost a fight in his professional debut, and they are going to be fighting for the Russian Russian lightweight title.
Russian lightweight title. To be honest, there's so many different titles in UFC. It's hard to keep up with them all now.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure they're fighting for the lightweight, the Russian lightweight title. They're going to be fighting in Las Vegas, 6th of October. And my prediction for this, and I'll come out and say it straight away. I'm kind of biased because I like Conor McGregor. I think he's made some stupid decisions in his pro career, but I really like the way he fights. I like the way he handles himself. I love his cockiness. No one sells fights like Conor McGregor does. And I think that's where KSI and Logan get it from. Well anyway, I'm gonna say Conor McGregor wins by knockout the third round.
I also kind of want Conor McGregor to win because there's no one hyping any fights up like Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. The most talked about UFC fighter. He's a legend without a doubt. It's as cocky as he is.
he backs it up.
Sometimes exactly. Sometimes you want to see someone who's really cocky get beat, right? With Conor McGregor, there's just his cockiness works. He backs it up. So I kind of want to see him win, and I'd love to see him come back from all the drama and the bad press he's been having recently. Come back and win, and kind of move on from basically everything that's happened, right? So I think he'll knock him out though. I really do. Because Khabib, he gets hit in his fights. That's his big problem, right? He takes a lot of punches, but I don't think he's ever come up against someone who's quite got the knockout power of McGregor. And if McGregor does catch him with one of them punches, he will go down eventually. So it's
Hmm.
you know, I mean, maybe not. He might have a ridiculous good chin, but I doubt it. But that either way, that'll be a very, very, very good fight. And I think Dana White is labeling it as the biggest fight in UFC history.
And that moves us on to Brock Lesnar coming back. One of the old UFC guys from the original days.
Yeah, he well, he was in. So was he in WWE before he was in UFC?
Yeah, basically his
Yeah.
career goes NCAA Division One champion in amateur
Okay.
wrestling, WWE to UFC, back to WWE, back to UFC for UFC 200, back to WWE,
Yep.
and right now he's the WWE Universal Champion and he's number one contender right now for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. So he's got a chance to basically he's got a chance to hold two world titles from two different kind of sports. And I know some
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, WWE is not a sport." You know, pro wrestling is a sport, right? You know, that's literally it. Pro wrestling is the sport, while WWE is all scripted. Maybe they might make Brock Lesnar drop the title, you know, because we got SummerSlam coming up. Maybe Brock Lesnar will have to drop the title to actually go and fight in UFC, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be tough because obviously switching between the two sports. I mean, as much as they are both incredibly taxing on the body, right? Um, we kind of said this a few weeks back when we were talking about our top five sports. So I think we were saying that UFC and WWE are so different in terms of one of them is an entertainment sport, right? And UFC is just it's hardcore. I feel like if he wanted to try and keep his UFC title, or he'd have to go and do UFC permanently. I don't think he can keep switching between the two because there's different training that's going to go into WWE and there's different training that goes into UFC. And I find it hard to believe that he can get as much training as these UFC guys can if he's also training for WWE.
Well, the thing is with Brock Lesnar in WWE at the moment is that he barely shows up to WWE shows and everything. So it's kind of like he's on a UFC kind of fight schedule and everything. You know, he's a part timer, so to say, in WWE. But
Right.
honestly, I don't see WWE letting him keep the Universal title to go back to UFC. They're gonna make him drop it.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to give it to somebody who will be there. You know, there's only so long you can be a champion for before you've actually, or without protecting it, sort of thing. You know, I can't think
Right.
of the word.
So Daniel Cormier, I believe, I think that's how you pronounce his surname. I'm not sure.
Yes, call me.
Now, I haven't really followed any of his UFC fights, so I couldn't tell you how good he is. But I seen the size difference between him and Brock Lesnar. He's about half the freaking size.
uh, yeah, he's very different in terms of size. However, he's a very good wrestler. He started. He was an Olympic wrestler.
Olympic
In,
amateur, was it?
yes, that's how it all started for Cormier. Olympic wrestler, and obviously goes up into the UFC. Now I'm not sure what his record is right now.
I'll have a look, actually. I'll have a look.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think of his last fight that I saw. I don't think I caught his last one. So he's 21 or no?
Right, he's 21 and 0, is he?
21-1-0. Yeah, so he's got 21. He's got a draw. Oh wait, the middle's a draw, right? Win, draw, loss. No, no. He's
I think
21
it's
and one.
submission.
Sorry, win, loss, draw. No, win, loss, draw. He's 21 and one.
Right, yeah.
So
Right.
very good record. To be fair, that one loss doesn't really. If you can still hold your ground for 21 fights, I mean, you're up there. His last fight, here was against Mayo Kick. Mayo Kick.
I know. I was just looking at that, trying to pronounce it as well. Mio kick or something like that.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Mayo Kick. Whether he knocked him out first round. So that was obviously a pretty interesting fight. His last two fights, he's been given performance of the night. So he's obviously doing something right. And, you know, it's, as a heavyweight fighter, so I was just reading here, as a heavyweight fighter, he is unbeaten. He's 14-0 as a heavyweight fighter.
Yeah, because he's currently light heavyweight champion as well, isn't he?
Yes. So he's 7-1 as a light heavyweight and 14-0 as a heavyweight.
Right. Well, either way, I honestly now, just looking at the sheer size of Brock Lesnar compared to him, he's gonna get absolutely ragged around that cage.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Cormier he's a wrestler, right? But
So's Brock.
exactly, and the thing is, how do you wrestle a guy like Brock Lesnar? You know, someone who is that powerful and that big.
He's gonna have
It's
to
going to
use
be
his
very
speed.
difficult. Exactly, yeah. He's going to have to. And the thing is, I don't think he looks like a lot of his wins and stuff have come from like knockouts or TKOs, right? I don't think he's going to knock Brock Lesnar out. I really don't. So he's going to have to try and win by submission, which could work in his favor because he's going to have that speed, right? He's going to have the speed over Brock Lesnar. But can he lock in a submission? Because obviously Lesnar's going to have the power to rip out of most submissions, you know. So is he going to have that power to lock it in and stay locked in? It'll be very interesting.
Well, I think if he's his best chance is to stun Brock Lesnar early on, catch him with a good
Yeah,
right hook or something, stun the guy, and if he goes to the floor, quickly fucking jump on him, ground and pound, or lock in a submission or something straight away. Do not give
yeah.
Lesnar any time.
No, exactly. Or I mean, even if he just worked his legs for a bit, right? Like obviously Brock Lesnar's a wrestler, so he needs his legs.
Yeah.
Or gives him a couple of leg kicks, makes his legs go weak, make him go dead a little bit. Maybe he can get it on him. The thing I'm a little bit, worried about. I mean, I say this. I was gonna say Brock Lesnar's what, 41 now, 40. He's getting on there.
He's in his mid-40s at least, I think.
Yeah, I want to say he's 41. I feel like I've seen on Twitter the other day he's 41. Cormier's 39. He's got 2 years on him, which is nothing crazy. But 2 years is a big difference. Now, just going through it, I'll read some of the stats to you, right? So, Cormier is 5'11". Brock Lesnar is 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
Cormier weighs 235 pounds. Brock Lesnar weighs 265. And then their actual reach for their punches, and this is the seller right here. Cormier has a 72-inch reach, whereas Brock Lesnar has an 81 reach. So like, he's gonna have to close that gap down massively. He's gonna have to rush him down. He's gonna have to try and he's gonna have to really try and get in there. And it's tough because Brock has the distance covered, right? He's got that long range jab, right hook, whatever he wanted to do. He's got the reach on him.
Like you said, he's got to throw a couple of kicks at his legs and that to weaken him.
He's gonna have to, because if he tries to get in close to close the gap of the reach, that's almost a 10-inch reach, right? That's a huge difference.
He's gonna get overpowered if he tries to get in that close to him.
Exactly. Brock can easily just take him down, or it's going to be a very, very, very tough fight. It really will be. But it's at the same time, I mean, Cormier's obviously got the experience. He's
Yep.
obviously got the experience on it,
And
which
there's
could
nothing
come in handy.
in sport that ever gets you more prepared for a sport than actually playing the sport. And in DC's case,
Exactly.
he's been in UFC the entire time, whereas Lesnar has been back and forth since 2012.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his last fight, Brock Lesnar's
200, wasn't it?
in
UFC 200.
yeah, so that would be 60. He hasn't had a fight in 2 years.
hmm And before that was what's it called when he left UFC just before he came back to WWE in 2012.
Yep. Yeah, would have been. See what that was for Lesnar. It
2011 would have
was
been, wouldn't it?
December 30th, 2011 was his last fight.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting. I think
Oh yeah.
if DC can get past the power of Lesnar, he's got a good chance. But for me, Lesnar's too big, he's too powerful. I don't see DC being able to out wrestle him or even get within, you know, distance of actually knocking him out before Lesnar's got him. So honestly, for me, I think Lesnar might end up taking the win by you.
Yeah, I'm going to say Lesnar as well. I do think if DC plays his cards right and really works the legs, maybe he'll stand a chance. But if he tries to go toe to toe and tries to outbox him or out wrestle him, I
It's done.
think he's going to lose that fight. So I'm going to say Lesnar by submission, second round.
Fair enough, fair enough. I'd say Lesnar TKO third round.
Ooh, okay, stop it.
Now, the other sport that we're going to cover is F1. Now, at the moment, we are in the summer break for F1, so there are no races on right now. Although, I can tell you right now who's leading the championship. It is Lewis Hamilton in his Mercedes, followed by Sebastian Vettel. The gap being 20, 24-point gap. So Hamilton is doing well right now. Mercedes 10 points clear of Ferrari in the constructors. Now I was talking to Fisher about this yesterday, whether or not I should give my predictions on where people are going to be in 2019. And because it's mid-season, I think okay, I can go ahead and do that. So for Mercedes, I think well we already know that they're sticking with Bottas, Hamilton. Ferrari, we know Vettel staying there. Question marks on Kimi Raikkonen. I think Raikkonen will probably stay there. He'll probably stay there, but if Raikkonen leaves, it's going to open the door for Charles Leclerc to step in. We already know that Daniel Ricciardo is leaving Red Bull Racing for Renault Sport F1. So that leaves a spot open at Red Bull, which can be filled by Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso might get tired of McLaren. He might jump ship to Red Bull. You never know what can happen. Me personally, I've looked at the issue at the moment with Force India. Now, Force India has just been bought out by Stroll, by Lance Stroll's father, you know, so well, he's kind of saved him out of administration. So I think Lance Stroll will probably get a Force India seat, and I don't think Force India are going to want to lose either Ocon or Perez, but with Perez's contract coming to an end, I do think Perez will probably have the option open and that move on, and Perez could be a shout for the Red Bull seat. People think I'm crazy when I say it, but he could be a shout for it. Uh, Alonso also could be a shout. Gasly definitely a shout. So why isn't Carlos Sainz going to go there? Well, simple fact, Carlos Sainz and Verstappen, they could not get along back when they were at Toro Rosso, so that's not going to happen. So basically, we're going to have a load of people, shuffling around in the midfield. A couple of guys going up to the top teams potentially. The only one I can say for absolute certainty is going to be the same next season is Mercedes. Ferrari, question mark. Red Bull already lost Ricciardo, so question mark on who's going to go in to replace him. Likely candidates Gasly, Alonso, and Perez. Ocon I think is going to stay at Force India alongside Stroll. Williams, I think Pascal Wehrlein will be making a return for Williams alongside Sorokin, which will be an interesting pairing. Toro Rosso, I think Giovinazzi will replace Brendan Hartley next season. And whether Gasly goes up to Red Bull, I think Sainz will take the other Toro Rosso seat, but if Gasly doesn't, I think Sainz then will be looking at possibility to go to McLaren. I think Van Dorn will probably stay at McLaren. Alonso is the question mark. And moving down, then we got Sauber, who Leclerc got a link up to Ferrari, so he's a questionable option. And I don't know who they're gonna get to replace Leclerc if he does go up to Ferrari. So Ericsson, I think, will stay the same. Grosjean and Magnussen in Haas, I think that's gonna stay unchanged unless something happens over the next couple of months. But realistically, they are my predictions and for the 2019 driver lineup. I'll do a more in detail video myself at a later time. But yeah, that's my F1 prediction. Fisher's just been sat there like, yeah, I have no idea what this guy's on about.
No clue what you're on about at all. I mean, obviously, if you're not new to my channel, you'll know that yeah, I was gonna say we have a series. We did do a series on F1. So I know some things through there. I know obviously the names of the drivers and who they drive for. But in terms of contracts and stuff like that, I don't follow F1 like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately I do, but I'm like I said earlier, I'm an F1 nerd. I've been following it for
Oh
ages.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
I kind of wanted to keep it short, and it went on for like 4 minutes or so.
Oh mate, all good, absolutely fine by me. Like I say, I'm here to learn just as much as people I will watch. There's going to be things. It's hard because a lot of people, for instance, who are fans of football, might not like rugby. They might not like F1. They might not like boxing, right? A lot of people will just like the one sport, or they don't really care for other sports. But if they can learn a thing or two about new sports or whatever,
Yep, and
stuff.
like at the moment, like we're covering like these 5 main sports: F1, UFC, boxing, football, and rugby. We're going to be covering those 5 sports mainly. There might be talking going on about you know esports competitions as well in the gaming world, because
Yeah,
I mean that's a competition. We're kind of there to cover competition, like so we could
yeah.
be talking about a couple of esports events or anything else that comes up in the
It,
future.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, what I will throw in about esports, I've kind of been around the esports scene for a long time, right? So especially with Call of Duty, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Call of Duty. And what I will say is their biggest tournament is coming up next weekend. It's a $1.5 million prize pool, the biggest Call of Duty event every single year, and it's always massively hyped up. And it's again, unfortunately, it's not as hyped up this year because obviously World War II was a little bit of a flop, so it's not really. not built up as much hype as it would normally. Still, they're playing for 1.5 million, so
But you know,
still
we'll be
exciting.
covering that. We'll cover that.
Exactly. Yeah, esports, and I mean, if there is any other sports that you guys would, or that you guys can think of, let us know, because we talked about tennis, we talked about golf and stuff, but neither of us follow them sports. So there's not really any point in us.
The same with
We
cricket as
can't.
well.
Yeah, we can't really give our predictions on cricket and golf and tennis because we don't know the sport. I mean, I'm happy to go over, for instance, like scores from previous weekend on
Well,
cricket.
I know about darts, but you know, darts is one of those sports where it's easy to predict who's gonna win. Michael Van Gerwen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a bit tough, but I mean, if you guys in the comments, if you think of anything you'd like us to cover, even if it just be that we give you an update on scores for the previous weekend, right? If that's something you want us to do, let us know in the comments, and we'll see. See what we can fit in. At the end of the day, this is the first of many for
Yep.
the podcast. So, if there's anything you guys have changed, anything you enjoyed, or anything you want us to add, let us know in the comments. We're open to suggestions. We read all the comments, so
And
we'll be there.
also you can check us out on our social medias. Jump on over to Twitter at I'm Fisher to check Fisher's reactions to the sporting events. Jump over to Ivor Reacts to check out my reaction to the sporting events. And make sure to drop a sub on both channels. This video will only be uploaded on my channel, but I will be putting Fisher's link in the description. And it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's everything covered for pre-season in the first episode. We said it'd be a short one. It's gone on for 40 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's for a podcast, that's pretty short, right? Most podcasts, like an hour long.
Yeah. So I think this is a good time to wrap it up. We'll get into the rugby predictions closer to the start of the season.
Yeah.
Next episode, we will be covering what's happened in the first game of the Premiership and what's going on in the Championship and so on.
If you
And
can pop me.
we hope to see you in the next podcast. So it's goodbye from me
Peace out.
and goodbye from Fisher. Goodbye. I was going for the the two Ronnie outro.
Oh,
It's
okay.
goodbye from
Get
me
you
and
right.
it's goodbye from him. Goodbye. I am still
Yeah.
recording for a laugh.
I did not know where you were going with that. I was like, yeah, peace. I did not know where you were going there.
Alright guys, we'll catch you next week with the week's sporting events, and make sure you guys check us out on social media and our channels, links in the description. And we shall catch you on the next podcast. Let go.